Episode 6, When the Lights Come On, or as I like to call it, come get this ass whooping. And it's your boy, Icon, with a DC television review for you, going over that Superman and Lois. And before we get started, new t-shirt, by the way, bought it at New York Comic Con. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell as always, and let's get started with some Superman action. Or some Clark Kent action, the way it turned out. But the episode starts with Lex Luthor. He's heartbroken and angry over the fact that he lost his daughter, although he was the one who chose, the revenge of the Kent family over having a relationship with his daughter. So I guess now, in order for him to fully wipe away the weakness and to focus on the task at hand, he burnt his daughter's picture that he had of her when she was 14 years old. He started destroying things in his room. He started working out, working on his boxing and his fighting technique. I guess that proved to be nothing. all that training for nothing, but we'll get to that later. And then he's talking to, again, I'm still calling her Mercy Graves. We talking to Mercy, and he asked her, she was just like, oh, did something happen with Elizabeth? And he was like, tell me about the project. Because Lex has this whole project where he's trying to, there's this one particular lady in Smallville who owns a farm. Lex wants to buy her farm because he wants to build Luthor headquarters on that woman's farm. And by this, being around to torment the Kent family. But he was having a problem because Lana was preventing him from getting the zoning permits that he needed in order to do that. So he goes down to the mayor's office and has a conversation with Lana, and he was just like, look, regardless if you approve these or not, I'm building my, my fortress or my headquarters. He's like, I don't give a shit what you say. And then Lana was like, you think that's going to happen? She was like, get out of my office. And then he gets mad and then he storms out. So he still planned on doing it. So he's just like, fuck it. I got to do what I got to do. Now, in the meantime, the woman whose land he was trying to buy, she was supposed to have a meeting with Mercy, so I guess they can cut the check, and so she can get her hands on, she can get her hands on the money so he can get his hands on the land. But then Lana and Clark decided to go down and talk to the woman to see if they could talk her out of it. While they were trying to talk her out of it, the woman basically said, she was just like, well, she said, Mayor Lane, if you want me to not sell to Lex, she's like, and especially you, Clark, she said, for everything that you've done for this town and for everything that you've done for the world, she said, I won't accept the offer and I'll go with you to tell him that I'm not going to do it. Now, Clark was surprised by this because he was just like, does she know I'm Superman? Because he was like, based on how she's reacted, she thinks I'm Superman. Even when he was in the grocery store, there was a moment, because now that he has the human heart, his Kryptonian isms aren't as 100% as they've normally been. And it's affecting certain things where he doesn't have his full hearing. He's in a situation where he's actually aging now, he's getting older. And Lois pointed out that he started getting gray hair, some gray hairs. But then he ended up going to get hair club for men so he can dye his hair black again. And then that's when Denise, the black girl, she noticed he was buying hair dye. She's like, why is Superman buying hair dye? And she made Denise has been weird. Denise started this whole thing. It's she's still here. So, but then they teamed up. They went to go talk to the woman, and she's like, I'm going to tell Mercy to kiss my ass. So she goes down to the bar. She tells Mercy she's not going to take the deal. And then Lex shows up at the bar, and he's like, how much is it going to cost for me to get your land? And then she was like, nothing, Lex. I'm not going to take the money. And then he was like, fine. He said, I'll give you $10 million, and I'll also give $10 million to every single person in this bar if you sell the land. And then at that moment, that's when Clark walked into the bar, I guess to confront. But then Lana was like, no, Clark. She said, everything's fine here. And then the woman, she turned, the people in the bar were watching this entire situation. She turned to the people in the bar and she kind of looked at them like, what should I do? Because they're obviously in on it too, because he promised money for everybody. And the one person who actually had brains opened his mouth and said, it doesn't feel right. Because there were two guys. One guy said, this doesn't feel right. And then the other guy said, if he's willing to give you $10 million and then to also give $10 million to every single person in this bar, if he wants your land that bad, it has to be for a bad reason. And I said, thank God, someone's thinking. Someone's thinking. And then you could tell, it pained her to tell him no for that deal. She told him no. And then, then Lana was like I told you, Lex, get out of my town. And then he got mad and he walked away. Now, as far as the fluff part of the episode, Jonathan has been flying all over the world, saving kids in Afghanistan, saving broken trucks in Madagascar, saving like puppies and kittens in Spain. He's been flying all over the planet doing the superhero thing. Everybody kept telling him, you need to slow down. Like, we appreciate the fact that you're trying to save the world, but like bring it down a notch because you're literally like doing the most. Jordan was trying to get a job. He tried to get a job at the grocery store. Denise told him no. He tried to get a job with Sarah at the diner. Sarah told him no. And for that brief moment, I remembered why I hated Sarah in season 3. But Sarah's still like Sarah's still actually been one of the better characters of the season. Like, I can't even front. And then even Sarah had a conversation with her mom where she made a comment to where when Jonathan and Jordan were talking in the diner, Jonathan was eating a bunch of food, like rapidly eating. And then, she was just like, wow, slow down, dude. She's like, you might want to chew your food first. But then that's when Jordan was like, well, he's been flying all over the world and this, that, and the third. And then she was just making comments like, well, at least you get to fly over the world. Or, people in Smallville have never left Like, she kept making like these comments about how living in a hometown kind of sucks. So then she went to her mom and said that I think it's time that maybe I need to do something different. She said, I want to go to school overseas. I want to go abroad. And then Lana was like, no, baby, because then you won't be with me. They mentioned John Henry Irons like 10 times in this episode, and I thought he was going to show up because apparently him and Lana are still doing the damn thing. but she told her mom, she's like, I want to, travel. I want to do something different. She's like, I want to do more than just like work at a diner and like live in Smallville. And then between that with Clark like going gray or whatever, those are like the little like C plot storylines for the episode. So now, but they do tie in like other ways. So then, because Lois basically told Lex to kick rocks and got him to like not get the deal, he sent his goons to Lana's house to try to kill her. He turned on all of her stoves. He put the gas on. He turned on the oven. He basically tried to blow up the house with both Sarah and Lana in the house. Lana woke up. She saw the guy, she turned off the burners, and then she saw the guy attacked her, and the guy tried to kill her. He was like, that's what you get for standing up to Luthor. And then before Lana died, Sarah came into the room and she cracked him over the head twice with a baseball bat because she said Kyle, her father, always told her and her sister, Sophie, you should always keep a bed under your bed in case something happens. Kyle's the man. So, they knocked dude out, and then that's when the cops came, and then the Kens came, and then everybody showed up to give their condolences, to see if Lana was okay. And then that's when Jonathan and Jordan felt bad because Jonathan was like, I was so busy flying all over the world trying to save everybody on the planet, I wasn't even really listening or trying to hear out what your mom was going through. It's like, I should have heard your mom in danger. And then Jordan was like, I wasn't even listening at all because like I'm being a coward and trying to run away from the superhero shit. Lana was talking to Lois, and then she was trying to and again, this is where I thought John Henry Irons was going to show up. Like, John Henry Irons at some point needs to bust through LexCorp and whoop his ass, because if he's still dating Lana, you cannot let that go go unpunished. But then Clark, despite him having reservations about what's going on with him, he got angry because, Lana's like his bestie. And then Clark went downtown, called Lex Luthor out. He was like, Lex, get your ass out here. The two of them got into an argument. Lex was just like, yo, get off me, Kent. Like, you think you're the man? He's like, you ain't shit. Your Superman is a facade. And then he was just like, yo, get out of town before I throw you out of town. And then Lex pressed a button. Every lamppost, like traffic light, all the lights in Smallville turned red. Because, like the red ultraviolet lights, it takes away like Superman's powers. Every single light in Smallville turned red. And then that's when Lex was like, you want to do something, do it now, bitch, because you ain't got no superpowers. And then Lex Luthor and Clark Kent got into a fight in the middle of the street in the rain. And that was some cool ass shit. We just watched The Penguin, and where Penguin and like Carmine Falcone got into a fight in the train station. This was better than that because it's like it's crazy because he's Superman, and so far nothing that has happened in this season so far has been a job for Superman. This has really all been a job for Clark Kent. And to see, and it's like, and the fact that he didn't have his superpower made it even better, because for all those push-ups, for all that boxing, for all that training, all that working out that Lex was doing in the beginning of the episode, you literally just got your ass whooped by Clark Kent. And I'm gonna need you to live with the fact that the House of L just bust that ass. So and then like his kids showed up, like the boys showed up, Lois showed up, and then they're actually watching their dad have a fight in the middle of the street with Lex Luthor. And then after a while, Clark kind of like I said, Clark beat his ass, and then he picked him up, and he was like, "Get out of town, or else." And then he threw him on the floor, and then Lex was just like, "Oh, this is what I wanted for your family." He's like, "I knew Superman was a facade." He's like, "The whole Superman thing was bullshit. This is who you really are. You know, like you're a monster and everything." He was like, "Get out of my town." Like, it was cool. I liked it. I like to see Clark Kent let loose. You know, it was kind of dope. Well, then, like, after Clark, you know, basically, like, bust that ass, then his sons, when they went back home, his sons just like, "Yo, that was cool, Dad," and blah, blah, blah. And then he was like, "Nah," he's like, "That shit wasn't cool. But now we all got to be on alert because Lex isn't going to stop." Like, but they did say that he did go back to Metropolis. Like, Lex did leave, and Lex went back to Metropolis. So now they're trying to figure out what's the next steps because, you know, they're just like, now that I whooped his ass and he went home with his tail between his legs, he's going to come back even stronger. And then other things happened. Like, Lois had a conversation with Mercy at one point, and then she told her, she said that Lex wouldn't even, you know, choose his own daughter over revenge for my family. So what do you think he's going to do when you turn on him? And then later on, Mercy, you know, she confronted Lex about it, and then he was like, "Do you trust me or not?" And then she, you know, she got mad and walked away. And then when she came back, you know, she was like, after like Lex was like stitching his eye back together because Clark broke his nose and like split his face open, she helped, you know, she was helping him like stitch himself up. And then she was like, "I'm always on your side, Lex. I'm always gonna choose you." And then the two of them were just standing there. And then they did this weird thing with the town where basically everybody in the town now knows that Clark Kent is Superman, and like even the coach knows that his boys have superpowers now, so they got to like deal with that. But then Lex was talking to Mercy, and then while the two of them were talking, she said that after you got your ass beat by Superman, and because you don't have Doomsday anymore, what you need right now is a really good suit. And then that's how the episode ended. And thank you for tuning in. And I said that. I think it was the last episode. I said in the last episode, now that Doomsday basically took his own life, and now that Lex has nothing, he has nothing to hide behind. I even said, because that was episode 5, and I said in the last review, we have 5 episodes to go, because I think we're getting 10 episodes for the entire season. We got 10 episodes. We got 5 more episodes to go. Doomsday's dead. What the hell are we going to do for the other 5 episodes? And I said the only thing that's left to do is for him to build the Lexo suit. So it seems like Mercy's going to build the Lexo suit. And for the last 5 episodes, I think we're getting a filler episode in the next episode, because the next episode, it seems like it's going to mostly be about Clark trying to come up with a way to convince the townspeople he's not Superman, despite, you know, everything that they feel that they saw. Maybe we'll get a Martian Manhunter cameo, who knows? But after that, we're going to get the Lexo suit with Lex Luthor powering up. And I feel like when Lex finally gets the Lexo suit, and he's on his way to Smallville to go whoop Superman's ass, he's going to bump into John Henry Irons first, and I feel like they're going to try to kill John Henry Irons before he goes, to Smallville. But looking forward to that. Not John Henry Irons dying, but looking forward to seeing the Lexo suit. Looking forward to seeing the final showdown between Superman and Lex Luthor. Superman also said he was going to go talk to his mama at the Fortress of Solitude to see why the heart hasn't actually fully restored all of his power yet. Like I said, but this is good. I like the show. I love the show. I would like to see one of these 2 kids get a costume at some point. Oh, and then at the end, Sarah, because Lana almost died, she decided to give Sarah her wish and allow Sarah to go study abroad. And then after that, she said that she had 6 places that she wanted to go study abroad. And Jonathan and Jordan flew her to those 6 places so she can pick the one that she wants to go. And if that was the last time we see Sarah for the rest of the season, I'm actually cool with that, because that was a nice ending for her. It was a nice ending for her to go abroad. She was, for her to be like, "Oh, I got 6 countries I want to go to." And for her final scene to be Jordan and Jonathan taking her to those countries, with her flying with them. I can't, if we never see her again, I'm fine with that for her. But hopefully she does come back. We got 4 more episodes to go. Share your questions, comments, and concerns down below, and let's continue to talk about it. Check out my other reviews, because Superman and Lois is basically the only show that's left right now, because we got 1 more episode of The Penguin to go. I've already done the finale for Tomb Raider Legend of Lara Croft. We finished Agatha all along. So until Cobra Kai comes back towards the middle of November, endish of November, and until December 5th when we get the kickoff of the Gun universe with Creature Commandos. Once Penguin's over, we're basically only going to be reviewing Superman and Lois until we get Cobra Kai, until we get Creature Commandos. Hit me up on social media, on X, on Instagram, on Twitter, always on YouTube, where you can leave your questions, comments, and concerns. Like I said, check out all the stuff I got on Red Eyes Entertainment, because I love bringing you all the superhero goodness. So that was it, guys. So thanks for tuning in. So up, and away. And until next time, don't underestimate Clark Kent. So bust that ass. And this.